We're actually missing a bunch of people on Team Blue, but that's okay. We got ourselves Team Red all set up. Oh, wait. Wrong one. Team Red all set up and ready to go. We got Atham. Oh, wait. I'm looking at Dirks Brown, but I'm saying Atham. I'm out of it today. Let's go down the list. We're actually going to start with our boy Pelter. How about seeing this beautiful beast in a while? Balance to it. Back at it again. We got Proc singing on the back, still playing the good old Feral. Kissy trying to give their hand again a Demon Hunter. That's going to be Kachikan and Dirksbine on Team Blue. We're going to start with baseline again with Krem. We got Sienna in here as well. Sienna, I'm pretty sure that's a look at that Mog. Look at that weapon. Look at them goggles. Obviously a gladiator. Don't tell me I'm wrong. That's going to be Olokai with Candy Brews in the back and Atham man sitting comfortable on his. Whoa, you guys got like a train going there for a second. What's going to be going on first? Oh, hey, Gladiator. Look at that. All the gladiators have that. All the gladiators have that quintessential engineering goggles Mog. I swear to God. I swear to God, dude. It's an easy giveaway. Pelcher getting opened up on by Olokai is trying to get himself some hots rolling with thorns to follow. Olokai trying to get himself a little bit of a cyclone. Still trying to get a cyclone onto Pelcher. Does land it. Trying to see if he can force maybe a trinket or just a reset off of Pelcher. But the dots are going to make it harder. Trying to get a leap. And that's going to be Olokai getting chomped up by a shark. Interrupting Pelcher on a nature cast. And Pelcher, he'll be able to get a cyclotronic blast onto Olokai. Unless a bash comes in. Bash does come in. Is going to get an in card going. Does get a stun. Cyclone trying to come out. Does get interrupted on it. And Pelcher just get the big damage in. Needs to go for big. Star Surge is back to back onto Olokai, but he's actually going to sit in the back. Going to be a wall coming in for Olokai as he engages with Pelcher. Short War Stump to follow. Lunar Strikes are coming out for Pelcher. Back to back. Trying to see if he can juke out a cast kick off of Olokai. Another big bite into Pelcher. Barkskin coming up right now. Still has Incarnation. Trying to get the dots rolling. That's going to try to get away from Olokai for just a second until he gets rooted. Cyclone trying to come out for Pelcher. He is going to go for Thorns right now. Olokai looking still really healthy, trying to get a Cyclone to Pelcher. Maybe we might be able to go for a big old reset. Pelcher better have someone out of this. No more defensives left. Hopefully you have a play. It's going to be reset by Olokai, and down it goes now. Balancers don't have it easy, and Olokai is going to go power shifting as soon as he gets charged in by our boy Kachikan, but that fear is going to set him back for a second. Adaptation is going to make it easy for Kachikan to stay on Olokai. Cyclone to follow them. It's going to put him in a back-to-back CC, and Olokai, without any kind of dodge that Kachikan can put out, is going to go for a full reset. Kachikan might have to go for a long game with the eyes, but Olokai is looking just to go for a reset game. Come in whenever he has big setup and get out when he doesn't. Kachikan walking by the eye, not getting. Still hasn't picked it up. Blizzard, you gotta fix it. As soon as you get near the eye, you should be able to pick it up. And Olokai had plenty of time to get himself a plan. His plan was just to jump on Kachikan's bones and get himself a nice opener. It looks like Olokai is the one running that shark trinket actually, instead of Pelcher. That shark trinket is an intellect trinket, but very much like the old school COS trinket, it throws out a spell effect. In this case, a shark. Or a massive sea ray, that's basically a shark. So he's playing an intellect trinket for a little bit of the proc damage. That trinket has been nerfed in PvP by 50%. So for all that guy with a playing a dot heavy build, that shark should be able to proc through dots. And maybe that's his play styles to have a lot of abilities to proc off of bleeds. That's going to be Kachikan getting that Blade Storm, trying to get into Olakai's head, and taking away, absorbing that stun into that Blade Storm for that open. A bash comes out, and it's going to be Kachikan's adaptation. Olakai popping his second wall, and is trying to go for a little bit of a self-heal, managing to get finishers and regrows back-to-back for his own self-heal. Going to be a root onto Cat to separate these two with a quick swift man, recovering quite heavily. Kachikan leaping in on top of Olakai with a big fear. Another shark attacking Kachikan, nowhere near water. Literally a bit of snow melts and the shark pops out of there. Olakai is taking quite a lot of health, but every time he can disengage from Kachikan, that's one of the advantages he has as a feral. And the fact that Kachikan just doesn't have any way to get out of a lot of those roots, besides Blaze Storm and no direct trinket to deal with that situation, all he can really do is sit that root. So Olakai can get the bleeds up and running onto Cat, take a little bit of health deficit, and then just root him up and reset. I don't think this man can lose his duel. Unless maybe dampening starts rolling really rolling in. Kachikan starting to show a little bit of signs of that big dot damage, really putting work on him. All that guy popping off cooldowns as well, getting those shreds and big bites back to back, brutal slashes just to take down Kachikan's health a little bit longer. Gonna be another root, but Kachikan does Blaze Storm out of it, cancels it immediately to get a charge onto Olakai. He does catch a resell for a second to get a reopen onto Gat. And without adaptation, to be able to break him out of those bashes since they're so heavily DR'd. Olakai does get to re-dot Kachikan fully and is looking to catch another reset. Kachikan's health is looking really healthy though. He was able to manage to stay on Olakai as best as possible, get a couple charge heals from time to time. And again, just trying to get in this Feral's head. Does still get to deny the opener by the Feral. I think all Kachikan can really do is maybe save Blaze Storm to get out of a root and go for big damage on Olakai, truck him down. He's a Fury Warrior, so his damage is very predictable until he gets his War Stomp, gets quite a good chunk of damage into Olakai. Needs to continue with the slows. I think that's all he could really do is just start spamming those slows as soon as Olakai tries to run away from him. Maybe get a reflect. I think a reflect on a root would have been amazing. And Kachikan is kind of stuck out on root again. Leap does get an interrupt onto Olakai's health. And this is where he goes for a bit of a slow with a charge to intercept him again. Needs to spam the slows immediately. Bash coming out. There's going to be adaptation immediately. Does he have anything for it? Does have a reflect for that Cyclone. Chicken side of it immediately. Blaze Storm to fall. Olakai trying to go for self-heal as a safety chicken coming out. Is Kachikan going to be able to turn this around? Walk coming in for Olakai. And Kachikan again could go for slows back to back to back. Safety chicken gone. Normal wall for Olakai. Try to see if he can maybe get another root onto Kachikan. Does Kachikan have a Blaze Storm? For this, he does not. Maybe might be able to do something else. Fear coming out. Does get himself a Bloodthirst intercept with a charge. Try to get more slows into Olakai. Double charge. Does he have enough Mexican trying to come out? Does actually land it on the barrel. Look at this man. Making him into literal dead meat. Waited out with that reflect. What was that? I thought that was an insta-lose against a Feral, and Kachikan cocked his head cool like a goddamn cucumber. And now everybody's piling onto Olakai. I don't think he deserved that pile up, but that was a really good duel between those two. Gotta be the Paladin, Sayana. Sayana? I'm gonna call you something. I'm gonna change it every single time I say it. Bobby popping in big wings at the Cat. And Kachikan trying to see if he can survive. Gonna be Enrage Regeneration. Could be a Bob coming out for the Paladin if he wanted to. Is gonna get a leap. No charge available for Kachikan. Still trying to snag as much heals as it can from Sayana. Sayana popping that eye for an eye for the time being. Continuing to self-heal with those judgments. Gonna be reflected a little bit early for Cat. If that was a Hodge ready for Sayana, Kachikan kind of missed the chance there. Does adapt out of that Hodge though, so for those Paladin stuns, he might actually have the perfect setup with adaptation between Blaze Storm, between Reflect. He might actually be able to deal with it. Trying to get Sayana's health quite low without really tipping him over the edge. Needs to get another charge heal as often as he can. Safety Chicken get him forced out. Kachikan kind of sneaks his damage in on him. This man wasn't thinking that he was going to get his Safety Chicken out that fast. Into just someone to Sayana in case he does go for a little bit of a reset. The flashlights are coming out as Kachikan does not have a pummel ready. If Kachikan had a pummel there, that's going to be Reflect coming out. Sayana can't Hodge himself. That's going to be a bubble immediately, and it's going to be Execution Kachikan. And he's going to run away from the Paladin. Maybe get himself a first aid. He does. The Paladin get the Hobbs though with a Judgment. Going to be a leap for Kachikan as he's trying to end the game right then and there. Going to be a Hodge onto Cat. Sayana is trying to recover in health. 7 minutes and 15% dampening. Kind of running out of mana. Flashlights are going to be coming back to back. Then Kachikan is back in the rampage around the corner. Charge intercepted Sayana as they're popping off wings in desperation with an eye for an eye. Kachikan landing that Fear Bob coming out of Sayana. Forced the Bob fairly early. And Kachikan popping the Reflect as Executor sets came out. Actually, Sayana landed slow on themselves. Do you see that slow that they landed on themselves? Kachikan has that adaptation if he needs to for this next Hodge. That's going to be Sayana trying to bail away from Cat. Trying to do what he can. Trying to walk away, but down they go as they get slammed down by this mean, lean muscle machine. Next is Athel. Oh my god, Athel. Don't do this. Athel, don't do this. Don't do this, Athel. Athel, go back. Go back, Athel. Send someone else. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. We gotta put the boys against one another. I hate when the boys have to fight each other. But Athel is gonna get that Hodge into Kachikan, forcing that adaptation a little bit early so he can start rotating the Holy Power to get that Hodge faster if he is running a talent for Paladins where every time you spend Holy Power, you get back your Hodge faster. by a few seconds. Very similar to an Outlaw Rogue playstyle. Shield Avengers coming in as Azeroth is just trying to whittle down Kachkan very slowly, interrupting that heal. And Kachkan is just going to go for a bit of a slow on Azeroth. He doesn't want that shield to pop on him that much. His action might just go away and maybe go for a first aid. Shield does dissipate with the reflect available for Kachkan after holding that Hodge until the last moment. Kachkan could go for a Blaze Storm, does go for a Blaze Storm. Does Azeroth still hold on to a Hodge then and there? It's going to be a disarm, and Azeroth has to go for a Flash of Lights. No way for him to go for big damage right now. He's gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Azeroth still holding on to Bop and Bubble. Kachkan looking very healthy, even on this high dampening. Just where Bubble comes in. Is Azeroth gonna go for big damage? Kachkan is just running away from him. Is that gonna be blood of the enemy for Azeroth? Not even gonna land a big leap for Cat. And Azeroth trying to get some damage into Cat. It's predictable damage that you saw from a mile away. Reflect coming out for Kachkan a little bit early, but Azeroth is gonna be swimming with the fish. Is gonna be going down. I'm bailing out of there. Azeroth played super well, man, but Kachkan saw through his ruse. He knows what this man plays. As a Fury Warrior, dude, he's got to do some research on what everybody else does. Gonna be instant disarm onto Candy Bruce is a popping off images. Really, I wish to go Fist of Fury right now. And Kachkan is just gonna walk away. He knows he's gonna go for Fist of Fury. He's gonna get a slow, charges right back in to get a Bloodthirst in. Might even be able to get a second Bloodthirst charge in. No, he's actually just hanging out with the images while he's got him. No point in fighting the monk if he has another source of health. And Candy Bruce is popping every defensive right now in the book with a touch of death. And Kachkan, as he's going to go for a leap, not quite a far leap. And the charge back to one of the images, back-to-back slows onto Candy Bruce. Just trying to wait him out. It's going to be a War Sub to stop the Fist of Fury. Kachkan is going to go for a charge, Zerkaration out of it. And it's going to go for a bit of a heal from Candy Bruce. Bloodthirst going back while Enraged Regeneration was up. Candy's out of defenses, out of options completely. All they have is wall. At least for the time being. Kachkan get hit with that Fist of Fury. No fear. Oh, does get a fear for it. Needs to maintain this health as best as possible. Wall coming out for Candy Bruce. Gets himself a little bit more health. Going to be adaptation for Kachkan. Is that going to be the end, though? And looks like Candy does take down Kachkan at the end. Not a lot that the Warrior God had to work with towards the end. The Cyclotronic Blast to try to blast Candy out of the way. And that's going to be Kremlin putting up a Warlock Gateway a little bit ahead of him, preparing for the next duel as the Fist of Fury come down. It's going to be a blind out of Durg's Bind. No trick. Oh, looks like it might be a trinket available for Candy. Stun? Trinkets? Warts? Lives? Not dead yet? Not dead yet? As Durg's Bind is trying to get around the corner. As he whizzes around the corner. Going to be a ring to knock him back. And Candy getting hit with a pistol shots back to back. Dragon kick him back over to Krem. With Fist of Fury is over and over, spamming him out. With a Fist of Fury coming down onto Durgs, gets another stun. It's going to be short stun onto Candy Bruce. Not going to be enough damage. Can he finish him off? Quite not have enough damage. But that concentrated flame at the end is going to be enough. Krem catching Durgbind in the open with a conflict rate. An advantage comes on right afterwards. Krem is going to have to go for a bit of a longer game with this rogue. This is Durgbind we're talking about. He got a lot of healing, lots of sippy cups. No set of play against Warlocks. We'll see how well it works out for him. Man, between Pelcher, Kachkan, and Durgbind, this some of the boys got to play. The only one of the original boys that didn't get to play is Prox, because he's fairly new. Maybe Prox will be able to finish this one off. We'll see. That's going to be Infernal coming down as Krem is going to go for a Cataclysm. No able to combo with that. Trying to land a few on the direction. The direction is going to go for a bit of line of sight. Needs to get the sippy cups rolling, and that's exactly what he does. Krem dropping down Rain of Fire, or Rain of Fire. That's going to be maybe a fear on the Durgs. Does get hit with a stun. It's going to be quite a tough Warlock to get through. Destruction Warlocks are really, really tanky. Durgs does Trinket out of a Succubus Seduction. That's going to be a horror with a fear of spam. As Krem is going to go for a bit of Dark Soul instability. Decided to separate Dark Soul as well as his Infernal, but Durgbind gets out of those fears pretty easily. And is trying to avoid Chaos Bolts, trying to avoid Seductions out of Krem for a bit. Does he still hold on to a blind? He could still get a blind. He's going to build up calm points off of the pad until he can get himself a good roll and maybe get himself a setup for a stun. Looks like it's going to be a stun onto Krem with a wall to follow. Killing Spear right after for Durgbind as he does get hit with a fear away. Cyclotronic Blast trying to come out. Does any kind of CC available for Krem? Doing quite a number of damage before the Succubus CC does arrive and hit Durgs with a stun to follow. Cataclysm is going to drop Durgbind quite low with the random before getting summoned and a horror effect to send him away, but he does get a vanish off. That's going to be a Sippy Cup. Cloak Shot is available as well. So actually got himself quite a good setup against Krem right now. Quite a good setup against Krem. Not completely out of the fight. Krem is recovering the health little by little, at least with that shield. The soul barrier, the demon shield, demon skin. That's eventually going to start healing him once the shield is cannot shield for anymore. Succubus CC coming in for Krem. He can get himself a Cataclysm setup with a common flag. Going to be a Cloak of Shadows. Forder's Bind has a moment of immunity. He's gonna have to bail out of there. Does go around the corner with a gouge right in the eye of a Krem, building up common points off the pet to get a stun rolling onto Krem to follow. Fear trying to come out, does interrupt it with a Chaos Bolt right after blind. Krem doesn't have a trinket for it, but Dirk's bind's health is really low. He needs to get those concoctions rolling ASAP, and he's using Concentrated Flame for a self heal at this point. That's a really difficult setup. Between the pet and between the warlock, it's two targets that you gotta CC, or at least manage, so they don't CC you. That's going to be Succubus CC around the corner. And Dirk's Bind again getting caught out. He does get himself a sippy cup at the end. Trinkets out of that at the last second to get his stun onto Krem, and it's going to be a horror effect to run him away in the other direction as soon as the killing spree comes in. Chaos is going to hit him in the back of the head, but does get a vanish off. That's one of the advantages of Outlaw, is the unpredictability with your combo points and your cooldown reduction that you keep going through as you're spending combo points on finishers, whether it is to buff yourself or do damage or get crowd control rolling. For an Outlaw rogue, all that's important is getting those combo points spent, which amounts to the unpredictability. Scram is thinking, oh, I gotta line up this time. Psych, no you don't. Gonna be a massive Chaos Bolt on Dirk's Bind, and he does leave. I don't think he should have left. I think he could have maybe done something here. But we'll give that to Krem. We'll say that the Infernal slammed down on Dirk's Bind just a little bit too hard. And he lost all consciousness. Next is going to be Krem versus Kissing. I don't like it when people just leave like that, man. I think it's too anticlimactic. That's going to be a Succubus CC, but it breaks with that Infernal. That's still Krem going to be able to get a big Chaos Bolt into Kissing with a horror effect to keep him running, come flag to keep him in place. Fear to follow. Maybe does still land the Fear somehow. Kissing poked out a little bit too far with a big Cataclysm to slam him down. And that's going to be another Chaos Bolt to ram into Kissing. Blur up, but not enough to keep him going. It looks like it does all come down to our guy, our main boy from the good old days. MML Prox. The Feral Druid Extraordinaire versus Krem, as they do set up a port ahead of time. Could be going for pets to see if they wanted to. It's going to be a batch again. Does get a wall with a Fear, but that's going to be Prox going behind the wall immediately as they get a root onto Krem. And it's going to be Psychotronic Blast and Fall as they try to get a Fear up and running. Does land the Fear with a couple Incinerates back to back onto Prox. Is going to bear up the damage, the blades, and the procs that he's getting, actually. The Azeroth gear procs, maybe even a trinket proc. I've done quite a number onto Krem right now. Whatever shield he's trying to get with Demon Skin is just not really going up, but that's going to be another Concentrated Flame, putting up quite a hefty second, or another dot onto Krem. So it's actually quite a number of damage. Prox is still doing fairly good in the back, hanging out with his pet. Krem is regaining that health little by little. 17 minutes in, 73% dampen a big Concentrated Flame just to take out a good portion of his shield and start burning into his health. Is that going to be enough? I don't think he needs anything more than a Concentrated Flame at this point. This man is just flaming. Prox is going on the forums and flaming Krem. Bash trying to get a bit more damage while wall is up, and that's how he goes, man. He just flamed him down. Very well done, boys. Oh my god, Katrikan. The big old 1v. Amazing, boys. Amazing. That was super fun to watch, man. That was a long one, though. That was a long one. That's probably the first long one today, which I'm glad. You know, you should have a mix of long duels, short duels. But like last week.